Welcome to Simply Explained English. I am Lisa.
And I am Eric. If you improve your English, this podcast is perfect for you.
So let's get started and make English learning easy. What are the words today, Eric?
The first word today is arrogant. Then we will continue with crucial and to confront. Then mark my words. And the final one is last but not least.
Let's start with the first word.
The first word is arrogant.
Arrogant.
Arrogant. Okay, let's explain what arrogant means. Arrogant is an adjective that describes someone who thinks they are better or more important than other people. It means being too proud of yourself and looking down on other people. For example, the arrogant manager never listened to his employees' ideas.
It means that the manager thought he was always right and didn't value the opinions of the people working for him because he believed he was better than them.
Exactly. Now, Lisa, can you give us another example?
Sure. Here's my example. Sarah's arrogant behavior made it difficult for her to make friends at her new school.
Great one. It means that Sarah acted like she was better than others, which made people not want to be friends with her at her new school.
Good point, Eric. Now, let's listen to a short dialogue using our word arrogant.
Hey, Anna. Did you meet the new student in our class?
Yes, I did. To be honest, I think he's a bit arrogant. He keeps talking about how smart he is and how his old school was much better than ours.
I see. That does sound arrogant. Maybe he's just nervous about being the new kid?
Maybe, but being arrogant isn't a good way to make friends.
You're right. Let's try to be friendly anyway.
That was a great dialogue. Anna and Tom used the word arrogant several times to talk about the new student's behavior.
Yes, they did. Eric, have you ever met someone who was arrogant?
Yes, I have. I once had a classmate who was very arrogant about his grades and always bragged about them.
That must have been annoying. How did you deal with it?
I tried to be kind to him, but I also didn't let his arrogant behavior bother me.
That sounds difficult. Eric, do you think it is possible to be confident without being arrogant?
I think it is. Confident people can still be kind and respectful to others. Arrogant people often forget to be kind.
That's a great way to look at it. I agree with you. Well, that's all we have time for with our word arrogant. Let's move on to our next word.
The next word is crucial.
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 Okay, let's explain what crucial means. Crucial is an adjective. It means that something is essential or critical for success or to make something happen. It is stronger than important.
For example, getting enough sleep is crucial for good health. This means that sleeping enough is very important and necessary for health.
Good example. This is mine. Communication is crucial in any relationship. It means that being able to talk and listen to each other is very important and necessary for a good relationship.
Now, let's talk about how to use this word. Crucial is an adjective, so we use it to describe nouns. We often say something is crucial or plays a crucial role.
Good point, Eric. Now, let's listen to a short dialogue using our word crucial.
Okay, class, let's talk about our group project. What do you think is crucial for its success?
I think good teamwork is crucial, Ms. Johnson.
Excellent point. Teamwork is indeed crucial. What else?
Time management is also crucial. We need to finish on time.
You're absolutely right. Both teamwork and time management play crucial roles in completing a successful group project.
That was a great dialogue.
Yes, it is. I liked it.
Now, Eric, let's talk about what is crucial for learning English. What do you think?
That's a great topic. I think it's crucial to study every day. Even if you only study for a short time each day, it helps to keep your mind active and improves your skills.
I completely agree. Daily practice is really important. I also think it's crucial to listen to English as much as possible. Listening helps you understand how the language sounds and improves your pronunciation.
Absolutely. Listening is key. It is also crucial to read frequently about the topics you enjoy. It increases your vocabulary.
That's a great point, Eric. So, to our listeners, remember that practicing daily, listening to English, and reading about the topic you are interested in are all crucial to learning English.
Those are great points, Lisa. Well, that's all we have time for with our word crucial. Let's move on to our next word. The next word is to confront.
To confront.
To confront. To confront means to face someone or something, especially when it's difficult. For example, you might confront a friend if they've hurt your feelings, or you might confront a problem that you've been avoiding.
Yes, exactly. It usually means you are dealing with a situation directly, even if it's uncomfortable or hard. Now, let's give some examples to help explain. I'll start with the first one.
Sure, go ahead.
Here's the first example. Sarah decided to confront her fear of speaking in public. It means that Sarah had to face her fear of talking in front of many people, but now she has made a decision to deal with it.
That's a good example, Lisa. Now, here's the second example. John decided to confront his boss about his work schedule. It means that John chose to talk to his boss about his work hours. He might have been unhappy or felt it was unfair, so he decided to address the issue directly.
Great explanation, Eric. It's important to note that to confront is often followed by the thing or person. For example, confront his boss or confront the problem. Now, let's use the word in a short dialogue so our listeners can hear how it's used in conversation.
Ben, I think you need to confront Mr. Smith about how he talks to you. It's not fair.
You're right, Amy. I've been avoiding it, but I need to confront the problem and tell him how I feel.
In this dialogue, Amy is telling Ben that he should talk to Mr. Smith directly about the way he's being treated. Ben agrees that he needs to do this.
Yes, and Ben is admitting that he has been avoiding the situation, but now feels he must deal with it. That's what confront means in this context.
Is it always a good idea to confront someone when there's a problem? What do you think?
That's a good question, Lisa. I think it depends on the situation. Sometimes confronting someone can solve the problem because it also might bring it out into the open. But other times, it might be better to think about how to approach it carefully.
I agree. It's crucial to think about how you confront someone. It's important to be calm and respectful so the conversation doesn't turn into an argument.
Exactly. And sometimes it helps to plan what you're going to say before you confront someone. That way, you can stay focused on the issue without getting too emotional.
That's a great tip, Eric. So, to our listeners, remember that to confront means to face a challenge or a person directly. But always think carefully about how you do it.
Yes, confronting a problem or a person can be important, but doing it in a thoughtful way can make a big difference.
I agree. Okay, Eric, let's move on to the next word.
The next word is mark my words.
Mark my words.
Mark my words.
Mark my words is an idiom we use when we want someone to pay attention to what we're saying because it's important, and usually what we say will happen in the future.
Exactly. When you say, Mark my words. When you tell someone to remember something, it's because you believe it will happen, like saying, I'm sure of this. For example, mark my words, that relationship won't last. It means that the speaker is sure that the relationship will end soon.
That's a good example, Eric. Now, here's the second example. Mark my words, he will be late to the meeting. It means that the speaker is quite sure that the person will be late to the meeting and wants the listener to remember this prediction.
Great explanation, Lisa. One thing to note is that this phrase is always used to make a prediction. It's like telling someone to pay attention because you know what's going to happen.
Yes. Now, let's use the phrase in a short dialogue so our listeners can hear how it's used in conversation.
Emily, mark my words, this movie is going to win an award.
Really? You think so?
Yes. Mark my words. The story is so good, and the acting is amazing. It's going to win something for sure.
In this dialogue, Jake is very confident that the movie will win an award because he believes it will come true. Eric, do you think it's common to use mark my words in everyday conversation?
It's not something people say all the time, but you might hear it when someone feels strongly about something they believe will happen. It's a way to say, I'm really sure about this.
That's true. Have you ever used mark my words with someone?
I have. I once told my friend, mark my words, you're going to love that new restaurant. And guess what? They did.
That's a good example. It shows how mark my words can be used in different situations, not just serious ones, but even when you're sure about something like a restaurant or a movie.
Absolutely. It's a useful phrase to learn, especially when you want to make a strong point about something you're sure of.
So true. I hope our listeners now feel more comfortable using mark my words in their conversations. Okay, what is the last word of today?
The last word is last but not least.
Last but not least.
Last but not least.
Nice choice. Last but not least is an idiom we use when we want to introduce the final thing in a list and show that it's still very important, even though it's the last one.
Exactly. When you say last but not least, you're telling the listener that the last item is as important as the others. For example, I'd like to thank my parents, my teachers, and last but not least, my friends. It means that the speaker is grateful to all the people mentioned, and even though his friends are mentioned last, they are just as important as the others.
That's a good example, Eric. Now, here's the second example. We invited many guests to our party, my cousins, my coworkers, and last but not least, my best friend. It means that the speaker wants to highlight his best friend, making sure everyone knows that. Although his friend was mentioned last, they are very important.
Great explanation, Lisa. This phrase is often used when giving speeches, making presentations, or writing lists. It's a polite way to make sure the final item is given special attention.
Now, let's use the phrase in a short dialogue so our listeners can hear how it's used in conversation.
We have a great team. First, there's Sarah, who is amazing at organizing events.
Yes, and we also have Mark, who is fantastic with numbers.
And last but not least, we have Jane, who always brings creative ideas to the table.
Exactly. Jane's ideas are always so fresh and interesting. Our team wouldn't be the same without her.
In this dialogue, Alice ensures that Jane is recognized as important, even though she is mentioned last in the list.
Yes, and Ben agrees, pointing out that Jane deserves attention even though she is mentioned last.
Eric, do you think this phrase is only used in formal situations?
Not at all. While it's common in formal settings like speeches or presentations, You can also use it in everyday conversations as well. Anytime you want to list things or people and make sure the last one isn't overlooked, you can use last but not least.
That's true. I've even used it when I'm talking about my favorite things, like when I'm listing my favorite movies or books. It helps me make sure the last one doesn't seem less important.
That's a great point, Lisa. Okay, I think we have reached the end of today's episode.
Yes, Eric, thank you for listening to Simply Explained English. We hope you learned something new today.
Don't forget to subscribe and like our videos. See you next time.
Bye-bye.